Hey everyone, welcome to the Conscious Narrative podcast, Between Friends. I'm Crystal and I'm chatting with my friend Anna about anything and everything, including but not limited to the fall of the United States, the need to balance and to find some sort of normalcy in life, which for both of us is books. Hint, we both just finished Onyx Storm and loved it. Well, I hope you enjoy listening to this conversation because it was very fun to have.
I think definitely now, just with like everything happening, all these executive orders left and right, like people are getting more and more pissed off, and I love seeing it on both ends because it's making it a lot easier for me as a content creator to like figure out
Pick a side.
Yeah, to pick a side, truly. I don't know. I think it's just I wake up every single day just filled with rage. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's like a mixture of rage, of fear, of anxiety, of what the fuck, of
Oh my God.
just everything. And then it subsides and I'm like, no, like it's gonna be okay. I managed to like talk myself off of a ledge. And one of my friends actually said it's because you are as a neurodivergent person, yes, you do feel things way more than a lot of other people, but you're feeling it now and not when those things are happening because you're already prepared for that bad thing to happen. So it's like, I'm just going to be this bundle of anxiety until
the worst. It is the worst.
Yeah, until things are over.
Yeah. And you mentioned talk yourself off the ledge, and I've same, because you have to maintain some kind of sanity, right? You have to show up to your job and to your meetings, and you have to do all the things, even though ICE is outside the door ripping families apart. I live in Denver, and yesterday was just horrific. And I'm crying on the phone to my husband, and you have to look at the bright side. And I'm like, no, you have to do something. But at the same time, it feels like your hands are tied, but it feels a little bit hopeless, honestly.
My husband said the same thing. He's like, you have to stay off of social media for a while. Like, you have to. And I was like, okay, you know what? You're right. I'm going to. I'm only just going to have my few accounts that I genuinely interact with. And that's it. I'm giving myself 2 weeks of just not hyper fixating on this stuff. Because it does that constant just level of anxiety is not helping anybody. It really isn't. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Work myself up into this frenzy to the point that I genuinely can't do anything at one point. So it's so I'm
not show up to work and just live at the Capitol protesting. That's it's not gonna move the needle, and it's got to be something more substantial.
I will say it's been nice coming across newer accounts that are focused on actually giving you facts and avoiding all the BS from the media because they have to keep it PC to a certain degree. No, we're so past PC that people just want to know what's up. Go off script. What's happening up here? I need to know because the more real, the more raw, the better it is for everybody. I feel like I'm sorry, I don't need you to sit here and be like, wow, this is just tragic news. I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit. 67 people died in a plane crash. Absolutely, it's tragic. Tell me again how tragic it is.
Right. Let me know more. It's funny because you're your husband wants you to stay off social media for your mental health, but where else can you get news that feels real? Because there's no media outlets out there that feel like they're giving us the full story. And you log into TikTok and you're like, here's this person with a phone who just videotaped actually in real time what happened. Here's their take. That feels like more real news than, anything else I'll get off of social media. And then I'll go see these things on social media and I'll go to a media site, like a news site, and there's nothing. It's crickets with a thing that I just saw on somebody's phone.
Exactly.
So It's bizarre how censored it is.
I mean, even in TikTok, like there's some stuff that's like totally censored on there now, which is beyond me.
Yeah,
Absolutely beyond me, given this it's 2025. Like what's happening? What is going on? Not to say that I didn't expect this to happen at some point, but I didn't think that it would happen literally overnight is what it felt like.
it did. And it was
Literally
all
overnight.
planned. Because
Yeah.
TikTok went off, like went dark before the ban was supposed to take effect. And I feel like that was a strategy. I mean, I don't really know, but
Oh,
something's going on there.
100%. 100% it was a strategy. It was like, "Oh, look, our commander in chief, he brought back this app." And it's like, dude, come on. Like, it's all a ploy. It all is. Like, I don't for 1 second believe that any of these like good things in terms of like social media that's happening that, it's giving back to the creators that are using the platform like for a living. None of that is good. It's a distraction. It's a distraction from all of the things that are actually happening. And the people that are choosing to not pay attention to that is what frustrates me. So I'm glad that there are people out there that are like, no, like this is what's going on. And there's one guy,
Yeah.
his name is Aaron Parnas. I don't know if I'm saying
But
his
yeah.
last name right. I love him.
Yeah.
He's
Breaking news.
breaking news. And I saw somebody made a TikTok and it's just his voice of like breaking news, breaking news. And it's literally like 5 posts in a matter of 3 hours. And it's like, man, I just want to wake up one day where I don't hear this poor guy's voice saying breaking
Yeah.
news.
But where does he get his news from? Like, what's his source?
I mean, he's a journalist and he's like on the ground. I don't know where he is, but at midnight was like posting all this stuff. And as soon as like the DC plane crash happened, it was like within 30 minutes he was like up and posting, like on
Breaking
Substack,
newsing it.
YouTube, like, and I think there's another like source that he tags. I think it's Midas Touch.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
like
them.
he tags them on some of his posts. So I wonder if like that's who he works for. But I just always see
Mm.
his videos and I'm like, man, this guy's on it. He's on it. And
He is on it.
he's very like to the point, unfiltered, and he's young, which I like, I don't know, maybe it's an
No, I
understanding
appreciate
of
that.
sorts, but like, I don't know.
I
Like seeing that stuff, I'm like, all right, great. This literally happened and I already knew about it. I didn't have to wait 8 hours to find out
mhm.
something like this went on because I don't
Right.
know. Because nobody was allowed to say anything. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
It's kind of
Yeah. It
important.
feels like all the unbiased news outlets that are still ethical aren't in America. So we got The Guardian, which is like UK based.
Mhm.
There's a million others, but they're not here. Like I don't trust CNN anymore, and that was my go-to 10 years ago.
I think Rolling Stone has been pushing a lot more spicy material, like really not giving a single fuck about the
That's
headlines,
good.
like straight to the point. So I will say they're at least showing up or have been lately. I don't know. I don't have a
That's good to
subscription. I've
know.
only seen what they post on like threads and stuff, but it just yeah, like you said, it seems like you just don't really know who you can count on as far as like the bigger media outlets. To me, it's like everyone has a price, and it seems like everyone's been bought out. That's what it
Exactly.
seems like.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. And you also mentioned like the executive orders
Mhm.
and you know about Doge.
Of course. With
What
those
the fuck
6,
is
like,
this?
3-year-olds that decided to
You can't just create a government agency from an executive order. Where are the Democrats? Fucking where why is nobody fucking doing anything?
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I will say there's, like, one congresswoman,
AOC?
Jasmine well,
Oh, Jasmine
AOC,
Crockett?
I love her.
Yeah. Fucking those girls.
I
But
love Jasmine. I have been
I do
following her
too.
for a hot minute, and the way she puts people in place, I'm like, yes, this is fucking why we need women, not just in Congress,
Women of
everywhere.
color, by the
Women of
way, like
color, yeah,
that agreed. Because
period. More women like Jasmine, more women like AOC. That's
agreed.
who needs to be up there, who needs to not be afraid to say, you know what, you're wrong. Hey, I actually have the receipts. Let me show you. Like, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, no, she's killing it right now. But Congress is like a body of people, right? And those two gals can't carry it without the rest of them. And they're being stonewalled by the older members of the Democratic Party. And it's pissing me off because nothing is happening. The mirror between now and like early 1930s Germany, it's literally a
there.
straight line. There's
I
no
know.
deviation. We are on the same road. And the entire world has taken notice, and we are doing all the same shit, from book bans to censorship to controlling minorities and women's bodies and all the shit. It's the same exact shit that happened 100 years ago in another country. And that country itself is so progressive now that they look at us and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Did you not learn anything? It's
Well,
really
I mean,
disappointing.
we let ourselves get here.
Mm-hmm.
We did. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I'm trying to stay hopeful. But as that silly quote from Rebecca Yarros goes, hope is a fickle thing. I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard because you want to show up, you want to do the right thing, you want to fight for what you believe in, but then you have people who just seemingly have this like endless pot of power that comes from fucking nowhere, and it's working for them, but then you have all these other group of people who are trying so hard to fight against it, and somehow they're still being silenced. I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on? The way to change is to take away the money. And we are the money, right? We're the consumers. So you choose where you shop. I think if we can do anything when we feel hopeless, it's go to the local hardware store instead of Amazon.
Yeah.
Quit feeding the billionaire. It's so
Hmm.
much easier said than done. It's sort of one thing we can do as individuals to move the needle.
I mean, we've been programmed truly to have things just brought to our doorstep. So the need to get into your car and to drive down the street is basically, it's non-existent, because all
I
you have to
know.
do is just hit add to cart and it'll be here between 4 and 8 a.m. tomorrow, you know?
Right. Or within
Like,
4 hours, right
or
when you're
within
doing
4
that.
hours if you order in the next
Yeah.
30. It's so like it's bad. It's bad. I mean, I'm guilty of it. There's definitely been times like I'm like, "Ugh, I can't leave, or I just I need to make this happen, blah blah blah," or like, oh, my friend sent me this link, or it's a targeted ad from somebody else who got something on Amazon. I'm like, oh well, I need it too. You know, like I think we're all guilty
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's fucked. I volunteer for Moms Demand Action,
Hmm.
which is a gun safety organization. It's every town for gun safety. It's under that umbrella. And there was like a guest speaker at one of the meetings we went to. It was a congressman, like a legislative congressman for Colorado. And I asked him that question, like, what can we do? Like, what can we as people actually do? And he was stumped. He couldn't answer the question. Yeah, it's like, you just, and it was really frustrating to me to have someone at his in an elected office not be able to answer the question that is very simple that we all need to know.
I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody knows. Truly, like nobody knows. And the ones that do know are like you said, are being stonewalled. Like
Yeah,
it's just, I
yeah.
don't know.
Well, like I said, I'm in Colorado and there was ice raids yesterday,
Hmm.
and that's the news is covering that. And then I live in Colorado's a pretty blue state.
Uh-huh.
And the question was posed to congressional members, and I think even the governor, of like, are we going to allow Trump to do this? Are we going to allow ICE raids here? Those are federal employees, right? So we can tell them we don't need their assistance. We're not going to fund this federal agency to come in and disrupt these families. And before the raids happened, they were like, yeah, we're going to tell them we don't need them. And it was just all so wishy-washy. They just big fat did it anyway, and nobody could do anything, which is really frustrating to me. That was a tangent that we were not currently talking about, but
I will
um,
say, like, I haven't heard of much, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening here. I mean, I'm in Missouri, very red state. I'm literally I'm one blue dot in a very big red state. And it's like,
How are you doing? Are you okay?
no,
No wonder you don't want to leave your house.
honestly, it's almost comical. Like when I talk to my husband, like, so all of my best friends, like my closest friends, with the exception of like a handful, do not live here. They have all up and left. They're in like California, in Colorado. We have friends that are in New York. Like, and then the ones that are here, it's like their families are here. They're not having babies. So it's like they're setting down roots here. So it's like I don't really see them as much. And so my other friends, like I have my weekly calls with, I'm just like, oh, like, what are you guys doing? It's like, oh, we're at the beach, we're doing this. And like, you know, Daddy Newsom is taking care of us. And I'm like, man, I wish Missouri had a daddy that you know what I mean? Like I'm just really, really stressed out here. Like my weekly outing anymore is like going to Costco because I need to
Yeah.
eat. Girls gotta eat.
Costco's good. Costco's a good company.
Yep, Costco, and then that's basically it. My book club once a
Hmm.
month. I actually have 2 book clubs now, and then, like, my main social interaction is my reels on Instagram or getting on TikTok talking about books, and, like, it's me and, like, thousands of my closest best friends talking about theories and what to read next. It's just, like, I don't know. It's kinda wild. It's kinda wild, and, like, even seeing people, like, wearing their MAGA hats and stuff, and just there's something inside, like, I almost get triggered by it. It's like this, like, visceral, just I don't know, like, there's literally a fire that lights up inside of my soul, and I don't even know how to handle it sometimes. It's bad, and, like, I don't care. I don't care what your political views are, but at the end of the day, like, I care about how you treat other people, period. I care about being safe. I care about having a choice. I care about being in control of me.
Yeah.
I care about if I ever have, kids, like them being able to have control of themselves and having the choice to do whatever they want and not
Yeah.
somebody telling them you have to do something. And like when I
Yeah.
see people that are
That
just
clearly disagree
don't
with you.
care, yeah, that clearly disagree on something that is, in my personal opinion, very basic piece of just being a human being, like it bothers me. It bothers me. And like I'm a nurse. So it's in me to care for another person, to want to heal another person. So when I see other people say like nasty things about people of color, about women, about kids, because they've had their entire life served up to them on a silver fucking platter, like I don't feel bad for you. I'm ashamed of you and I'm ashamed for you that you exist in this space thinking that these things are okay to say and do. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I kind of I kind of want to I so I have no idea what your religion is, but I want to bring religion into the conversation because have you ever heard of the term uh vertical morality?
I haven't.
There's vertical morality and there's horizontal morality. I'm not going to do either of these terms justice, but vertical morality is where religion kind of lives, and it's why I personally have abandoned religion.
Hmm.
Vertical morality is basically there's a top tier holy spirit. God, this is God, right? And
Hmm.
he is better than everyone. And underneath him, there's like layers. So everybody kind of stacks it somewhere on the vertical spectrum of morality. So under him would be white men. Under white men would be white women. Under that would be people of color of any gender. Under that would probably be people in the LGBTQ community, right? And this is this vertical morality structure that religion supports. If you do good in life and you believe all the things and you follow this scripture, then you get a higher level because you are better than so and so. And so white supremacy lives in this morality structure when because white supremacy allows you to put yourself further up in the vertical morality chain, right? It says
Mm-hmm.
you're better than these people. So people that believe in this higher source, higher power that is better than us, that knows more than us, that is the thing, then they can put themselves where they feel it fits. And that's Christianity. And horizontal morality says, no, spirit lives inside me and it's connected to everybody else. And it has, there's no division or lateral movement. It's a plane of existence, right? So we're all on this plane of existence and we all have this cog in it. And this person is no better than me and this person is no better than me. And we are all in this together. And that's where I feel progressives live, and even some liberals, and we live on this thing of, no, they deserve rights too. They deserve to love how they want to love, and they deserve autonomy over their body. And I'm not aiming to reach a God that says I need to be better than these people. I'm not doing any of this justice. I think it deserves a much broader conversation. But I think that's why it's so hard to like reach MAGA people and change their mind,
Mm-hmm.
because they live in this structure where they absolutely have to convince themselves that they are better than somebody else, and the only way they can do that is to either hate them or control them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the division, is like there's people on this side of the fence that are like horizontal morality, and there's people on this side of the fence that are vertical morality, and you can't bridge it. Like, it's unbridgeable by me anyway.
I'm not a religious person whatsoever. I mean, I think my mom tried to take me to church as a kid, and I always told her like it made me feel uncomfortable being there. And I don't know if it's just because of like the customs and the things that you do or whatever, just the singing and whatever. I don't know. But I was like, I don't feel connected to this. Like this isn't something that, not that it brings me joy, but it doesn't necessarily do anything for me mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, like nothing. There's no doors that are open from being here. So I eventually just stopped going. And so hearing people talk about like their experiences with religion, I've come to find that like a lot of times why they're so deeply connected anymore, and this is just my experience, is that they've had something so bad happen to them that they're reaching for something to like pull them out of this space. And I don't, to me, it seems cult like. I like, you can
Yeah.
follow whatever rules you've set in place for yourself because you have these beliefs, but literally been dying all week.
I'm
But I
sorry.
just like, I hate it when people shove it down your throat. I don't, to me, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
let me have my own feeling about it instead of saying like this is the only way to have this view or this is the only way to be. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't really met anybody that's been like, yeah, like I do this because I feel like an open connection. It's made me feel happier or better, and not because I had something awful happen to me, but because I'm trying to understand what higher power is at work, and if that's God based on whatever religion you practice,
Totally.
like
Yeah.
great. But that's not been the case, at least the people that I've interacted with, and it doesn't make me any more interested in diving in, because I'm like, it's all based on your perception. It's based on what you need. It's just like how
Yeah.
people, I mean, like we can read the same book literally and have a completely different experience. The words are the same, but we interpret them
Mm-hmm.
differently. It's the same with religion.
Yeah. Absolutely. That is so well put.
I mean,
It's absolutely the same. Yeah.
absolutely can't. Just religion to me, it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy
Yeah.
because I'm like, there can't be one single way.
There can't be. There's
There
just no way.
cannot.
The logic isn't logicking on it,
It,
quite
it
frankly.
never has been. It never has been. It truly is based on perception. It's based on what you see, what you want to see, you read what you want to read, and you hear what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think there's an element too of asking questions. I feel like people, like curious people, neurodivergent people, neurospicy people
Yeah.
that ask questions and want to figure shit out, like, but how? But how did it happen?
Right.
Are the people that veer from religion. And it's It's the people who don't ask questions, who don't get curious, that tend to stay put.
Mhm.
And maybe that's a super broad generalization. It likely is, but in my view, it's okay to ask. Maybe it's the whole idea of it's okay to ask questions. In church, it is not okay to ask questions. It is not fucking okay. It is not allowed. It's frowned upon, at least in my experience with churches. And then you get into the control of the Catholic Church and where that all fucking started, like, and the power that they've had for, I don't know, thousands of years likely.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's nutty.
It is. It is. I don't know anybody I've ever encountered that's like super in it. And there's one person that comes to mind, but I'm not going to name them in case they see this or hear this. But it's like to see them transform from somebody who was just like very open to hearing anything and everything and then have something happen that transformed them into what they are now makes me like it further confirms to me that it's like just very cult like it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. I know that there are congregations out there that are very open and loving and like welcoming to everything and everyone, but there's not enough of them around. There's not enough of them around to make up for all the bad stuff that does exist.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh, so disappointing. It's disappointing when you lose someone to it. So my family is kind of split. My mom passed away last year, and my sister and I don't speak for various reasons I won't get into here. But when you have family members that are a part of the cult, it's like a delicate situation because you want to keep the relationship at
Mhm.
least as much as you can, but you also want to set your boundaries. Anyways, do you have experience with that? Like, is anybody in your family crazy?
Absolutely. I think for me, I think I saw it probably in high school, more so with like friends too, because you see more and more, at least we did when I was growing up, like we saw more and more religious groups coming up about. And as a young person, I mean, yeah, you're a little bit more open.
You're a sponge.
You can be molded into anything. You're
Yeah,
impressionable, okay? You're just dumb. You're just dumb. You're down for whatever. And it takes one person to say the right thing at the right time. And like I said, it's like it just pulls you in. It sucks you in. And I think it has everything to do with mindset. And I think that's why like when I was so young, I'm like, I don't there was just something within me and I don't know if it's because I am a more intuitive person or because I am neurodivergent that I was like, nah, this isn't it. You know what I mean?
yeah. You were inquisitive. You
I
asked
was just
questions,
aware, I
out loud
guess.
or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't like this. Like this doesn't make sense or what's going like it was just and we had these groups that came about and I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go check it out. Like some of my other friends are going. Like I want to see what all the hype is about. I went and it was just very every instinct in my body told me to just run away and never come back. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. I literally waited for my ride. I was like, I'm never coming back here ever again.
This is not your path. It's
No,
not your
and it's
path.
not my path. And I'm not judging the people that went down that path. I'm just saying, like, it makes more sense seeing them now, like through social media and whatever, why they are the way that they are because of certain things that they experienced as like young adults, like 17, 18. Like you're going to be out in the world, you're going to go be on your own for the first time. So like those things that happen to you at that age, like they matter. They
Totally.
matter. And I don't know. I think do you, but don't shove it down my throat and
Yeah.
don't be an
Don't make
asshole to the
policies.
person next to you. Like for what?
Right.
For what?
I
For
mean, the
what?
problem is it's people like that that run the country now.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So,
And
yeah.
I mean, like at this point, again, to go back to the executive orders, it's like somebody commented because an executive order to go back to plastic straws, and somebody commented and was like, "Are we just bored now?" Because it's like now at this point we're just signing things to sign things. But again, I'm telling myself, I'm trying to tell as many other people, I'm like, this is all a distraction. This is all a distraction from the other things that are happening behind closed doors. So
Yeah.
figure
Yeah.
out what that is based on where
It's
you're
Elon
at.
Musk taking over the fucking Office of Personal Affairs
It's ridiculous. He's a public
or
citizen,
Professional Services or whatever it was.
or he's a private public citizen.
Did you hear what Gen Z was doing?
Mm-mm.
They set up a hotline. They set up a hotline so that Americans can report who they think is an illegal immigrant. And Gen Z fucking flooded it with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is I know, I'm so proud of them.
Oh man.
It's fucking bizarre though. Like it's bizarre. Like he's who Elon Musk is a terrible president.
One I never voted for.
Correct.
One that wasn't even on the ballot. This is scary. This is a scary movie.
I
It's a
can't I'm
literal
like
nightmare.
it really is. And I think we're all just in like shock and awe phase right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're all just like, what the fuck?
We're going through our stages of grief right now. We haven't
Yeah.
necessarily, I don't think we're ever going to get to acceptance. At least
I mean,
I'm not.
yeah.
Never. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get there.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna age myself again and I'll say, well, the first one I voted for was John Kerry, who was
Mm-hmm.
running against Bush Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
W. Bush, and he lost. And I remember being like, it is the fucking end of the world. I was 18. I was fresh off the press, ready to vote, and I'm like, my vote's gonna count. He's gonna
Yeah.
win. He did not win. And then I remember voting for after that, I was trying to vote for I don't remember. Hillary Clinton. I voted for her the first go around. She lost. Then I voted for Obama. He won. And I was like, there's fucking hope. There's hope in the world. Like, we will be fine. It's no big, like, we're in the right direction. And then Trump won, and I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Am I in like a bubble of like weird futuristic acceptance? And none of the rest of the country is? And then Biden won, and I was like, it was a blip. It was just like a blip in consciousness. Like it wasn't meant to happen. Like it'll never happen again. Like after the last 4 years we endured with Trump, there is no way it will happen again. And it did.
Yeah.
And it did. So I woke up so I was like, I was less surprised. Like I was less in a election depression, as I've called it throughout my years. But I was certainly in one. I was certainly like, are you fucking kidding me? And then you read the demographics of who voted for who. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of white women, and I'm ashamed of males in the Gen Z category that are also white. Just gonna be super blunt about it.
I mean, I wasn't surprised. I really wasn't.
I know.
I
Yeah.
use like people now, like they don't care. Like they're posting about it online and saying like all these awful, crazy, derogatory things about people because they think it's the right thing to do because the wrong person gave them the platform to do so. And
Right.
it's unfortunate that these people think that it's okay to one another for essentially no reason without really understanding what the repercussions are going to be because every single one of these actions, like, there's going to be something big that comes from it.
Yeah.
I mean, women are going to continue to die. Children are going to continue to die because we have no gun control. I mean, you're not going to have access to healthcare. People are going to continue to get deported. You're not going to be able to afford groceries. You certainly aren't going to be able to buy a new car if you want one or need one.
But will the dots be connected? Will they be like, it's because
No,
of this leadership structure that I voted for?
no.
That's what I'm afraid of, is that it comes down to education.
Well, people aren't taking, I feel like the thing is the people that have access to these resources, they're ignoring them because again, it's like, well, I have enough money to get whatever I need, so it doesn't matter because it's not going to affect me. And it's true, it probably won't affect these people, maybe not for a while, but it always catches up to you. It always catches up. It might
Yeah.
not be quick, but everything always comes back around. It
Yeah.
always does. So for the people that are saying, well, it's not going to affect me, like, it's not affecting you right now, but maybe it will in a year.
Hmm.
Because a lot can happen in a year. A lot can happen in 6 months, especially when you're talking about automotive industry, when you're talking about healthcare, when you're talking about agriculture. Like, we are going to be essentially not cut off from these resources, but we're going to be paying for it. Truly, we are. We're all going to be paying for it in some way, shape, or form. And if it's not us, it's going to be somebody that we know. And it might be indirectly somebody that we know, but eventually it comes back around where it's going to be impacting somebody or you to a point where you're going to have to do something about it. You're going to have to start worrying about it. But then at that point, it's like, okay, where do we stand? What can we do? You didn't listen the
Right.
first time, so why should I listen to you now?
So well put. That's exactly right. And I'm going to go back to the completely literal mirroring of what's going on now to
Yeah.
East Germany because nobody thought it would affect them. Teachers were like, it's not teachers, it's just union workers. It's not going to touch me. But then it eventually does.
Mhm.
You know, women are like, oh, it's not affecting me right now. It's only affecting this other group of people. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. And that's exactly what's happening. And the strategy of shock and awe that they're using is making us feel this way. Is making us being like fight or flight or freeze. We're all in
Mhm.
freeze, right? And we're like, let's just wait until it passes. Wait until the danger passes. It's not fucking passing.
It hasn't passed since 2016. Like, I don't know. I
I
hate to
know.
break it to
It hasn't.
everybody, but like,
You're absolutely right.
it never left.
It never left.
It never left. It was just simmering.
Right.
It was simmering, and now we're kind of at our boiling point. I will
Yeah.
still be holding on to some like little nugget of hope.
Hold on to mine too, because I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling with the
Yeah.
thought of it.
I think that's why I read the books that I do, because I feel like it's the only thing that's like helping me hold on to that hope.
Gosh, the escapism.
Yeah, well, the escapism, but also I'm like, God, maybe we're just living in the Matrix. Like, this is all just one, like, we're just gonna wake up soon.
I took the wrong pill.
Like this is where my mind, this is why I haven't left the house, obviously, in a while.
Oh my gosh. I'm with you. That's exactly why I read too. And my husband, I don't know what your husband reads, but my husband like refuses to read these fantasy novels that I just love and eat up. And he's like, well, I'm reading like this self-help book and like Atomic Habits and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, dude, I have enough reality to deal with. I would prefer fantasy. So,
Listen, when it comes to self-help, just go to therapy,
yeah.
because it's
Or
a
go to
tailored
Rebecca
approach.
Yarros.
Yeah, it's a tailored approach. So
Yeah.
actually go get your money's worth. No offense, like, I'm sure there's plenty of great self-help books, but like, I will not be caught dead reading one for joy.
For
Period.
joy. Exactly.
Period. I will go to
That is,
therapy. I will go to therapy.
yes. Totally. Totally. So,
My
well, on
husband
that
has
note,
been reading Harry Potter, though. He has,
oh, that's right. You
because
told me
he's
that.
never,
That's
well, he's
awesome.
still working his way through, because I think he watched the movies, but he's never read the books.
That's such a weird order to go in. Usually I'm fine with whatever you go in, what order you go in, reading the book or watching the movie. But with Harry Potter, like, those books are so much different than the
Oh,
movies. The
so
movies
much
are great,
different.
though. Movies are good. Hmm. So, but on that note, did you finish Onyx Storm?
Ha. 24
What did you
hours,
think?
baby.
Oh my gosh, I just finished like 2 days ago.
I took
That's
off
so.
work the next day so I could read.
Oh, good for
I
you.
I was like, I'm taking a
That's
mental health
planning.
day.
That is planning.
Did it.
That's impressive. All right, tell me everything. What did you think?
I liked it. Okay. Iron Flame was good. Pacing was a little crazy. Pacing was a little high. So I was like, I don't know, but I still liked it. I still enjoyed it. I felt like Onyx Storm made up for all of the things that people didn't like in the second book. I don't know, I really liked it. I feel like I liked the character arcs. I liked the side romances that are starting to make an appearance. I liked the POVs at the end.
Okay, let's put in a spoiler warning right
Oh
here.
yeah, spoilers.
If you have not
Spoilers.
finished the book yet, don't listen to the rest of this conversation. Okay,
Um, the POVs at the end.
good. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And I liked
Imogen
that.
made me cry.
Oh my god, so sad.
Mhm.
So sad. But I liked getting like badass Violet back.
Totally.
I didn't like that she felt so bad about herself in Iron Flame. I hated that for her. I
Yeah,
really
totally.
did.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did like it. I have so many questions. So many. I don't even know where to start here. Imogen's chapter, it was the only point of the book that I cried in. I loved Violet during this one. I like, to your point, like I really liked how she showed up in this book and just kept going. I liked that we got a Rhiannon point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Garrick played a heavier role in this book, which I really liked. We learned a lot of, like, I think pivotal plot points that will come into the next two books, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like Second Signet and what else? Like that Venom can wield, like have a signet. Yeah. It just sort of opened I think this was like the opening the door to the rest of the series kind of thing. Like I think, and you mentioned like it cleaned some stuff up from book 2, and I think that that book was probably rushed. She didn't have a chance to polish it the way she likes to. But also makes me fearful that we're not going to get the fourth book for like a year and a half or 2 years or something crazy.
For sure we won't. I think somebody posted, because she did her book tour, and they asked her, they're like, well, when do you think you'll start writing the next one? And she's like, I need to work 8-hour days and not 15-hour days. And she plans on writing like another contemporary romance before
There you go.
releasing, which I'm like, she
Yeah, rest your body.
she pumped out like 3 books in 2 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. 3 books in 2
Yeah.
years. That's insane. Plus book tour.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
insane. Insane.
Yeah.
The woman needs to rest. She
Give
deserves
her
to
her
just
space.
like go on vacation for like 2 months. She deserves to
Yeah.
spend the summer with her kids. Like, go relax and enjoy all the money that you made because you deserve it.
Yeah. I 1000% agree. Yeah. So we'll be fine. There's other books.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, is Sarah J. Maas gonna release? Have you heard anything on a release date for her?
No,
Me neither.
no. I'm like so disappointed in everything in that world right now because it's like the 10-year anniversary of
Oh
ACOTAR,
yeah,
like
that was lame. It's a kind of a money grab situation, right?
it was, and it's like I wish there was just like a little more effort into the covers and not just like a black cover and
Sprayed edges. Yeah.
sprayed edges, which like don't get me wrong, like I love a very like aesthetically pleasing book. I love the minimal style, but like for 10-year, like at least, or but also like maybe do the first book and then wait until the series is complete so that you can do
Yes.
all of it.
The cover changes mid-series is like nails on a chalkboard, dude.
And the
Like,
different sized books too. I hate that.
yeah,
I hate that.
come on. Come on. You know you have type A readers. You know you do.
I hate it.
Stop it.
Can't stand it. I don't know. At this point, I'm like, she's been so silent about it. I hope she is locked away in a cabin somewhere, ignoring life and just
Yeah.
writing the best damn book ever.
Yeah.
And I hope she
Agreed.
takes her time because if we get anything like Hofast, listen, I don't know if I can keep going. That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
It was a wild ride. It was a wild ride for sure. What are you reading right now?
I'm reading Split or Swallow. Have you heard of it?
Oh my god. No, I can imagine. Can you
Okay.
show the cover?
Yes.
Let me see.
Can you see?
No, I'll Google it.
Okay, so
Wait, is it like a chalice with a straw coming out of it?
it's a chalice with a snake.
A snake. Okay.
It's by Lindsay Straub. And so she like It's self-published and it was on Kindle. And so her account on Instagram, if you're on there ever, it's Oxford Lemon, I think. And
Mm.
she posts like a lot of funny stuff. And I went in totally blind. I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'll check this out. I'm going to read you the blurb. After I literally downloaded this book, it just got picked up for traditional publishing. And so it's going to be called Kiss of the Basilisk. But I went in completely blind. Started this last night because I already had it downloaded on my Kindle. And I have no idea what I'm in for. But okay, here's the cover. My phone. I don't know if that's
Oh, there it
better.
is. Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay.
Or not to speak for others. I saw it.
Okay. So here's the description. God, okay. This book is not safe to read at work. You've been warned. 20-year-old Temperance has never been kissed, but that's what the basilisk is for. Along with 13 other contestants, Tem must train with the basilisk to learn the power of seduction and win the prince's hand in marriage. When Tem is matched with Caspin, the Serpent King, she realizes she might actually stand a chance. But with tensions rising between the basilisks and the humans, Tem is suddenly torn in two directions. As her bond with Caspin deepens, so does her connection with the prince. And when she uncovers a terrible secret about the royal family, Tem finds herself caught between two, neither of which she can survive without. Guaranteed to make you blush and then some. Split or swallow is like if fanfic Draco Malfoy went on The Bachelor and had to compete with a snake.
Oh my
That's
God.
literally the description. I went in blind because I saw like a couple of other people that I'm close with like read it on like Bookstagram, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Man, first page, I was like, oh, okay, we're going in.
Okay.
It's funny and it's like very witty. She's a very good writer. Obviously, like it's very spicy, but like it's hitting in all the right spots. I don't know. Check it out. Check it out.
Okay, I will. I will.
What are
When
you
you
reading?
read, so hold on, wait. When you read the summaries of books, can you tell what's gonna happen? Like your
No.
neurospicy brain, you can't be like, "This is gonna happen." I already know.
Only in maybe in like fantasy, because like there's obviously a lot more like world building
Hmm.
happening, or like something like this where it's like obviously like a fantasy romance
Hmm.
situation. I will say I have a hard time with just like regular fiction, like your contemporary romance, stuff
Yeah,
like that, where I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really invested until like something really like bad happens.
Okay.
But for like for stuff like this, like my mind's already spinning. I'm like, well, what could possibly
Yeah.
happen? Like, well, who's this and who's that? But what does this mean? Like, I'm constantly asking those questions. But for example, we just read Rock Paper Scissors for my book club that I'm going to next
Hmm.
week. I hated that book. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. First chapter, I was like, well, this is what's wrong. This is why this isn't going to work. This is why this isn't right. And I was like, what? Why? Why? Like, to me,
Was it like a miscommunication trope or something?
no, it was just like, it was plot holes. I felt like there were POVs that didn't need to be there. We tried to
Yeah.
like confuse the reader, and I was like, this isn't working. I'm not confused. I'm actually on to you. But you're not making me ask the right questions. I
I
think. To me,
guess.
like I'm bored.
Okay.
I'm bored in those situations.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I am not reading. I just finished Onyx Storm 2 days ago. I'm not reading anything.
You don't have
I
anything
I
like next lined up?
yeah, Allie
Hazelwood?
Hazelwood.
Mm-hmm.
I got her new book. It's waiting. It's waiting. I'm blanking on the title.
Deep End.
Deep End. Yes.
I
That's what I'm
just
gonna read
ordered
next.
it. Mine's coming on Saturday, I think. Saturday or
Yeah.
Sunday.
So that's what I'll dive into. I'll probably start tonight.
I heard it's really good. Everyone's been saying it's awesome.
I really loved her Bride, the book Bride by her. I was pleasantly surprised with that. Was my very first take on her writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she pulled in a lot of fantasy readers with that one. So we're all bought in now. So we're going to start reading all of her stuff, even if it's not fantasy.
I read Not in Love by her, and it was really good.
Oh, okay, good.
It
Okay,
was
I'll put
like
that on my list.
it was a different take on romance, which I liked. It was spicy, but like I loved the FMC in that one because she was just very like very particular. about
Yeah.
sex and just had like very specific requirements.
Yeah.
And it was like the way that she wrote it out, I don't know, it was great. I really liked it.
Okay, good to know. I mean, that's good. That's good. I think there's a lot of overlap in people that enjoy the books that we enjoy and have the same political views as we have. And that makes me happy.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like there could be a whole doctoral dissertation on why that is, but we don't need to dive into it now. But I just think it's true and it exists.
I agree. I agree.
And I love it.
Again, I
Okay.
won't be caught with a self-help book. Nope. Sorry.
I'm telling you. Anyways, enough of that. It has been amazing and lovely to talk to you.
Yes, you too. Sorry for all the technical difficulties on my end, but I think I figured it out. So
I think
hopefully,
it's been good.
hopefully next time I won't take 30 minutes to get my mic to work.
I think you did great. I think it sounds good. I love the conversation. I appreciate you and thanks for wanting to have conversations with me. I think it's going to be fun.
Yes, me too. Thanks for
And
asking me.
yeah, of course. When I was doing the Book Snarks podcast, which we have not done in many millennia because life, you were my favorite conversationalist of
Oh,
all. And
thank
we
you.
talked to a lot of people. So I'm thrilled that you were down
I'm
because
always
it's good to
down.
just have a conversation.
It's nice because then it's like not validation for all the things that I'm feeling, but it's like nice to know that a physical human being actually sees the world in the same way that I do, and it's not just the people that I see on Instagram or TikTok. Like I know
Right?
this person, you know?
The community is out there. The community is
Yeah.
out there. We're just spread out like a big net. Like the collective consciousness is just
Mhm.
a big net. Okay, let's do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
You down?
Yeah.
If you're still listening, please consider subscribing to the pod and to us on socials. You can find us on TikTok, YouTube, and Substack at Conscious Narrative and at reads.by.anaid. I appreciate you more than you know. Thanks for listening, watching, and reading.